What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Rockets Hits and Heartbreaks. We've got some hits to talk about this weekend, or this week, I should say, and they came at Gulfstream. I said at the end of the show last week, I thought Gulfstream had a couple of tickets with our names on it. They did. We hit the late pick 5 on Wednesday, the early pick 5 on Friday, and the late pick 5 on Saturday. So we're going to talk about those three tickets at Gulfstream Park here in just a sec. One thing I do want to mention, honestly, one of the, and I didn't bring the ticket up, but I will talk about it at the start for the Heartbreak section of the show today. It's crazy, pretty good week, but I just can't get off my mind the late pick 5 at Fairgrounds on Saturday. I just feel like we were all over that thing. We got close to a $40 winner in the first leg of it in a race that, I thought was wide open. We went 4 deep. We got there. We got the next two legs. We're going into that second to last leg. I've got the two Brad Cox horses and Forza Dioro and Zozos. They turn for home, and they both look like they're in great position. Zozos doesn't fire at all. Forza Dioro doesn't really quicken and gets caught. Man, sick loss. I've lost sleep over that one. And, of course, Instant Coffee wins the next race. But, Zozo's just not firing at all. Just really bothered me all weekend. But it is what it is, man. I felt like we had that one in our back pocket. I felt great about it. We were doing a live show during that sequence, and my confidence was just growing with every race. And, like I said, didn't get it done there. Ends up paying, I think it was, I don't really remember, $1,200. But that's not even the point of it, just to miss it and just felt like you had it the whole way. It doesn't happen often to me. Like most times I'm pretty realistic in thinking, yeah, it's a pick 5 and anything can happen, but I really thought we had that one cashed. And I thought it'd be really good after that big winner in the first leg, and not to be. But we'll move on, and I've got to move on, and we'll do it now by talking about some of the happier moments of the weekend. And we'll go to Gulfstream. We'll just do it in order here. We'll go to Wednesday first. I'll pull up the screen here. Let me take my banner off. Let's see. There it is. All right. So Gulfstream Park on Wednesday. We hit the late pick 5 here. We'll go through it. $96 ticket here. No singles, but it turned out it was a good thing because none of the horses I would have singled won. So as you see here, the 10 gets it done. Grand Journey to kick us off with a $560 payer. She's Spiteful, a race we went 3 deep, wins and pays $9. Pretty good payout there. We went 3-6 here, and the 3 does get the job done. Thought about singling the 6 in the spot. Thankfully, we did not do that, so that was good. We're 3 for 3. And then this was the big one. The 6 and the 9 were the only two we used here. They run 1-2, but we get the 9 home at $13.20. When you go 2 deep, that's pretty good to get that $13.20 price home. So was happy about that one. 4 deep in the last here, and as you see, kind of a 2 and the 9 both come in. Both horses we used. The 2 wins it. So a $96 ticket. Listen, it's nothing to write home about, but when you've been in a little bit of a slump at a track, getting $399.80 here, getting $300 was nice. We also hit this pick 4 on a $24 ticket. That one paid $153.50. So, getting $400 out of this late sequence in a track where you have just gotten your heart ripped out over and over, it felt pretty good. So we were pretty happy about that one. Like I said, $96 ticket there, paying $399.80. All right, I'm not going to go through every single horse we used, but I am going to just go through the ones that won and why we used those winners. Since we're doing 3 tickets, got to shorten it up a little bit here. So we'll look at race 5 on Wednesday. Grand Journey, the winner. Pretty clear on the Timeform Spotlight numbers that this was a standout. But like I always say, you can't just go by numbers. You've got to look at each horse individually and go through it. Another good positive, Saffie Joseph and Jose Ortiz. So pretty good connections. We were coming second off the claim here. So we tried to go to Allowance Company last time out. It wasn't a horrible race, but 5th, beaten 5, wasn't bad. Speed figure was fine. Now we're just going back to pretty much the level we got claimed at. Claimed for $32,000 at Saratoga. Now we're in for $35,000. Just seemed like a logical horse. And really looking back on it, went 4 deep here. I almost went a little bit shorter. I mean, in the end, it doesn't really matter. We were okay handicapping-wise on this, so we were able to get it home. But this is one you probably could have gone a little bit shorter on. All right, let's go to the 6th race here. The 1, the 2, the 5 were the uses, and the 2 gets it done. as you see here, like I said, numbers aren't everything. Let's look at this. The 2 was one of the lower ones on the spotlight. But again, it's not everything. You kind of look at what happened here with this horse. I hate horses. Well, I shouldn't say I hate the horses, but I hate when trainers run 3 races on 3 different surfaces with horses. I'll be very honest. Is that a knock on D'Angelo? No, he's a very good trainer at Gulfstream Park, but still, I don't like when that happens. Debut was decent on the dirt. We moved to the turf, and that was a really bad race. Yes, the number got slower, but I was really kind of impressed with the horse. 5.5 or 5 furlongs on the synthetic, maiden special weight, gets up, only loses by a length and a half. I just thought that was a real nice move. And now we're on the same surface for the second straight race. For the first time, I just thought this filly would improve, and she's able to get the job done. Paid $9 for the win. It's not like this was a crazy horse to use, but definitely one where it just kind of felt like the horse is doing the same thing for the second straight race for the first time, and I thought she would improve, and she did. So we got the job done there. The 3 and the 6, who we used in the next race, a little starter allowance. Like I said, almost singled the 6. You click on the 6 here, had been, beaten last time out, and that's why I did not single by a lot of these same horses, but I just felt like the pace was going to set up great for the 6 in the spot. Last time, or 2 races back, was able to get the lead and just kind of cruise. I thought she would get a similar trip in this one, but did not really, kind of got pressured a little bit. And that led to the 3 getting her second straight victory here at this class level. Won last time out in the starter allowance ranks, jumps right back 39 days later and gets it done. Just seemed like a logical use from that standpoint. Like I said, almost singled the 6 because of the pace. Did not do it, and thankfully did not, because the 3 was just the better horse here once again. So the second straight win at this class level. All right. This is where it got a little bit tricky. We used the 6 and we used the 9. Love and Money. We kind of talked about this. If you watch the daily show that we do on Wednesday, we cover horse racing on that show, as well as sports. And talk about the 6. And Magic and I both really like this horse. Coming out of an allowance race where the horse got second, but wasn't really the preferred surface, as you see here. Was trying to get on the turf. It got rained off. Just thought, hey, we're back to the turf. Sharitovo, pretty good trainer. We think the 6 is going to be tough. So use the 6, but also the 9. Kind of the same story here. Getting back to the surface we like after running on the synthetic. It got rained off. We were able to win that race. So she ran very well and won. So we won 2 in a row here, winning this one. You just kind of look at these numbers, look at how she usually runs over the turf when sprinting. My goodness, just a really, really good resume here. 3 in a row there on the turf before getting rained off a couple of times, but still was able to win over that synthetic. So just thought this horse had a ton of class. I was surprised, and I think it was because we were jumping up in class. I was surprised the horse was 5-1. But again, I don't mind a class jump. And again, we ran an allowance company here, but now we're at the turf allowance, a little bit tougher race. I don't mind the class jump when this horse is just consistently winning races and running figures that are pretty similar to these other horses. So I didn't mind the class jump. Liked this horse a lot, obviously. And we went 2 deep and we got through. And then finally, 4 deep in the last leg, going with the 2, the 3, the 6, and the 9. Kind of a cheap race, for horses going on the synthetic surface here. So wanted to get some coverage. Turns out the 2 short circuit gets the job done, and that's like I said, that's a horse that dropping down in class, but had proven form over the synthetic surface. Just seemed like a logical one to put on the ticket. All right, so like I said, $399.80 for that one. All right, let's go to Friday. Getting a little bit better payout here. The early pick 5 this time on Friday. Similar ticket, $96 here. 4x2 by 3 by 2 by 4. The 1 gets it done to start, where we go to 4 deep, and then Invisible War, we go 2 deep here with the 1 and the 2. Another situation. Thought about singling the 2. Talk about that in a second, but didn't. Went 2 deep. I kind of talked on the last show. I always prefer to have a single in the pick 5. I think it gives you a little bit better shot, but I don't ever force a single. And a couple of situations here where I could have tried to force a single and just didn't do it because I just didn't think there was a single in the sequence. We'll talk about the last one we're going to talk about where there was a single, and so we'll talk about that in a second. Third leg, went 3 deep, got the 10 home here. Really, none of this was, stressful. We kind of we're in good shape for most of this. Like, it wasn't a lot of, oh, that was a close finish type of thing. Now, here is a spot here. The 6 wins this one as we go 2 deep, almost singled. 6 was coming off a decent layoff, and I was a little concerned about that, so didn't. But there was a situation, could have singled, and it would have happened, would have came home, but, what are you going to do? He went 2 deep instead. And then 4 deep in the last leg here. I'll talk about a handicapping angle with this one. This knocked a few people out, I know, and this was actually my top choice in the race. We'll talk about this in a second. I actually had it labeled as the best value on the card. The horse was 6-1. Ended up getting bet down, but that was that's usually what happens when I think a horse is the best value. Everybody seems to be on it. So, but anyway, the 2 gets it done here to round us out. $96 ticket, pays $450.70. So we were pretty happy about that one as well. And again, we also had this pick 4 as well. I think this was another $24 ticket that paid $109.65. So again, these aren't bank breakers. These aren't like like a $1,600 ticket last week at Oaklawn that we hit. And I think we hit $800 or $900. The other one we hit. It isn't like that Fairgrounds that we. I still am not over. That would have paid $1,200, but still, when we're slumping in a track, these little pick 4s and 5s, they really make you feel good. And listen, they keep your bankroll afloat as well, and they do a good job with that. So again, $96 ticket, $450.70. All right, let's talk a little bit about how we got there. Well, if I pull that up, there we go. First race on Friday. We went with the one, the Kozan one. By the way, Kozan, pretty good sire of Florida bred, so keep an eye on that. Had a very, very good turf pedigree, and I was kind of confused as to why they hadn't tried the horse yet on the turf. So we're moving to the turf, which I thought the horse would do well at, and we're dropping down in class, and we're stretching out in distance, and I thought that might be okay as well. And then, the final thing, we're getting Luis Saez. We're getting Luis Saez aboard here. I thought that was a really, really good sign. So, I wasn't like this horse is going to crush confident, but I was definitely like, I do not want this horse knocking me out of a pick 5 ticket. So get it done there. We get through the first leg. That's always a challenge. Boy, at this Gulfstream meet, that first leg's been tough. All right, let's go to race 2 here. Like I mentioned, almost singled the 2, didn't, and glad I didn't. So the 2 was my top choice there. You can see why. I mean, the horse dropping down in class had a speed figure that made sense. I ended up going to the number 1 Invisible War as well, putting this horse on the ticket. Look, Irad Ortiz Jr. jumps aboard for Mark Casse. That's going to be Irad Ortiz is going to be a critical angle as we go through this. Look at this. He's only, in the past year, Irad Ortiz had 14 mounts for Casse. 43% of them had won, 71% hit the board. That just shows you the jockey agent for Irad knows when Mark Casse's got a horse that he thinks well met and is going to win. And so anyway, went ahead and did that. So dropping down in class, now the key was we're getting back to the dirt. We didn't have the greatest dirt form, but there was a couple of races over the dirt where we had a win. We had a second at this level, or at a similar level, I should say, at Fairgrounds, a little bit higher level. Went up to the synthetic, had a couple of nice races there at Gulfstream, and then 2 really bad ones in a row. We get the class drop, but again, the key was we get Irad aboard here. It signaled to me that they thought, hey, we've kind of got whatever might be problematic for this horse. We made this horse not run very well in the last 2 starts. Maybe we've kind of got a little issue corrected or something like that. Because before that, pretty decent resume of this horse running, consistently well. So I just thought that was one to throw on, and thankfully we did. So, all right, we'll go to the next race here. We went 4, 7, and 10 in this spot here. The 10 ends up winning the race. Kind of one that I thought you had to put on here, dropping down in class considerably, cutting back in distance, getting to the synthetic, but, had a race right here against Maiden Special Weight Company where we got 5th, beaten 4 over the synthetic. Now we're in a 12K maiden claimer over the synthetic, same distance. So I just thought it was one to play back here. Abreu's not a bad trainer whatsoever. Gets Gaffleone aboard. Thought that was a good sign. So that's why we ended up on the 10, I should say. 4th leg of this one. The 6 and the 8 were the uses, almost singled the 6. We'll talk about the 6, who ended up being the winner. Coming off of a long layoff, but not a real worry for Abreu. Gets Jose Ortiz aboard today. That was a good sign. This horse was ready to go. Again, look at these jockey stats. Only 36 times in the last year. Ortiz is up for Abreu. 22% of those horses won. 53% in the money. And what that in the money thing kind of tells me is, look, it's still tough to win a race, but if they're hitting the board, it's telling me they're firing. The horses are at least coming up with a big effort. So, like I said, almost singled that 6, didn't. I wanted to get the 8 involved. I thought second off the layoff would be a big factor for this 8 horse. Ran pretty well, going 5 furlongs over this turf last time out. Got third, beating a length and 3/4. Just thought, hey, second off the layoff, we're stretching back out in distance here. Just kind of felt like this horse would run pretty well. Didn't run bad, but was no match for the top choice in the race. So, all right, we ended up with the 1, the 2, the 3, and the 7. The 2 was actually my top choice in the race, and a horse that we used, obviously. And so we went 4 deep. But here's why, and it's a very simple reason, and it is the only reason. Look at this. Irad Ortiz, riding for this trainer, has done it 17 times. 59% of those horses won, and 88% of those horses hit the board. Irad Ortiz has a great jockey agent, is what this tells me. He just knows when these horses from these smaller outfits are going to fire. That's probably not fair for Crichton. He's not a smaller outfit, but he's not like a stakes, type of trainer. He's going to run a lot of claimers, starter allowance, and allowance horses. And Irad, I'm sure they can just kind of pick and choose back on that backside with Irad, as successful as he is. So they kind of knew this horse was ready to roll today. Got a little bit of class relief. That was a big thing as well. First time running against the starter allowance company horses, had open allowance company in the last 2, but really probably not a horse I would have been overly confident on unless Irad was around. And so he jumps on and we use him, and it works out with this one. So another nice cash there. Let's go to the last one. Let's go to Saturday. I'll put that one up on the ticket now. Saturday, the late pick 5. After just an awful early pick 5, was not correct hardly ever on that one. Saturday was good here. And you see, we got a single. We'll talk about that in a second. We went 4 by 4 by 1 by 4 by 3. We get a $16.20 winner to kick things off. So I was very happy about that. 4th horse on the ticket gets the job done. And then this one, another 4th horse on the ticket, gets the job done. Far Bridge gets a winner here. We went 1-9, 10, 11, and it came in 1-9. By the way, very frustrating day at Gulfstream. If you're following the win picks from the free win picks, we got second like 6 times with big prices, and this was one of them here. We got second for those free win picks. But anyway, we'll go on here. This one was a winner. Candyman Rocket. This was the single, coming off a long layoff, but had proven form coming off a layoff in the past, and I'll get to that in just a second. Nice single here. Never in doubt. I was very happy for that. I was nervous about that one, but pretty happy that was never in doubt. Go on to the 4th leg here, and this is the one should have probably went a little bit shorter. Ran 4th with the top choice here, but the 5 gets it done. Hope in him. Pretty nice effort here. This is a synthetic monster there at Gulfstream Park. Pretty impressive. Could have went shorter. Didn't. Thought maybe the horse might bounce off a good effort last time out. Certainly did not. And then finally here, 2, the 3, and the 5 to round us out here for this pick 5. The lowest payout horse wins, so that's kind of depressing. But 2, 3, and the 5 were looking like easy winners turning for home, and so that's always nice to get that job done. So $96 ticket once again, best payout for us here, $587.75 for this payout, and also another pick 4 cash, $108.10. So pretty similar. Like I said, I think I can't remember off the top of my head, I think the other 2 horses we used would have paid a little over $1,000 if they would have came in for this one. So we get the lowest payout, but again, we're not going to be too upset about it. $587.75 on a $96 ticket. We'll take it. All right. Let's recap this one. We'll go to race 7. We'll go through this fairly quick here and get you out of here. Prefect gets the job done. Last horse on the ticket, because coming off a layoff, Number one, the synthetic races were not great for this horse. Had some decent turf races. Big class drop is why I ended up putting the horse on the ticket in the end. But like I said, it was the fourth horse on, but boy, he really fired and ran very well. Ended up doing it because of the class drop. That's about it. I say the horse was even in for like 15 or 20. I don't know if I would have added this horse on, but $8,000, that's a big time dropper. Ran it at the 20K level a long ways back last April and got third, second at a 20K level. So this was the lowest yet for this horse. So thought we'd put him on, and it ended up working out. But that was definitely got a little, I don't know if lucky's the word, but just kind of, you get down, okay, who's the fourth horse we're going to put on the ticket? You kind of debate between a couple. Ended up making the right decision there. All right, go to the maiden special weight here in race 8. Farbridge, first-time starter, Christophe Clement, Joel Rosario. Listen, Rosario's been on a bit of a slump. There's no doubt about it. But when he's riding for Christophe Clement on a first-timer on the turf, you better pay attention. So that was an easy use there. Let's go to the single, Candyman Rocket. Look, I hated the fact that he was coming off of almost a year layoff. I'm not going to lie to you there. But the one thing that gave me a lot of confidence, the last race he was in was off of a 272-day layoff, and he fired a massive race. And you look at the rest of this field, hey, if Candyman Rocket fires that kind of race again, he's going to win this pretty easy. There wasn't really any kind of world beaters in the spot. So I just kind of thought, hey, it's Bill Mott. He's pretty good off layoffs anyway. He's shown that this horse can run off a layoff. You can get him ready. He fired big. He won. It was easy. And that was, very not stressful. Let's put it that way. All right, fourth leg of this one, the 5, 7, 9, and 10. Those were the uses here. Yeah, looking back, kind of shake my head. Probably could have went a little bit shorter and kept this ticket price low. Let's look at the 5, Hope in Him. He's just been a monster. Look at this. Since getting to this, or since the recent form on the synthetic surface, 3 races, 3 wins. I don't know. I just kind of felt like he might get upset in the spot. Eventually, somebody might be able to get to him here. Not the case. Jose Ortiz. And there you go. I talked about jockey agents. Look at this. Jose Ortiz has rode 3 times for this trainer, who is definitely a smaller outfit. 2 of them won. All of them hit the board, and we can count another one. He's now 4 starts, 75% have won, and 100% have hit the board because the 5 gets it done easy, easy, easy here. All right, 2, 3, 5. That's how we ended this thing. I really liked the 2 in this spot. Obviously, the 3 gets the job done here, but I did like the 2 in this spot quite a bit. Went off at 8-1. I don't know why, but anyway, dropping down in class, had good numbers, really solid numbers. Really felt like we might get this one home at a decent price, and I think, like I said, I don't know for sure. I remember the will pays, they were over 1,000. Not quite sure what they were. Anyway, doesn't matter because the horse lost. The 3 gets the job done here, getting back to the turf. And clearly, I mean, you can see there's nothing fancy about this. Last time this horse was at this level and on the surface, he won. And he won pretty easily. And you know what he did? He won this one. And he won fairly easily. The 2 kind of had a shot, but the 3 kind of zoomed by him at the end. So pretty easy use there. And like I said, this was a situation where it wasn't, once we get by the first couple legs, it really wasn't a stressful situation after that. Like I said, 587.75 on the payout there. All right, that's all we've got for this week on the Rockets Hits and Heartbreaks. We'll be back next week. We'll be recapping, I'm sure, that Gulfstream Park card, the Pegasus card, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, holy shit, it's really, really good. We're going to have to do really well handicapping to hit this thing. We're going to have to be on point. It's going to be tough. But I think we can do it. So, listen, last weekend I predicted we would have some Gulfstream Park cashes this week, and we did. We had 3 of them, none of them bank breakers, as I like to say, but hey, those 3 tickets add up to a pretty good amount. What's the prediction for this week? I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really looked forward to it yet. I've got a good feeling Oaklawn Southwest Day is going to be pretty solid. Like I said, it's going to be tough at Gulfstream, but hopefully we can get one of those home as well. So hopefully we're back with hits and not heartbreaks next week. Thanks, everybody, for watching this week, and good luck with all your wagers.
RacingDudes.com is your home for the best free picks for every race, every track across the country. We're ramping up for the 2023 Kentucky Derby, and we want you to join us in the fun. Subscribe to Racing Dudes YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Want to make money betting horses? Bet with the Racing Dudes.